Well, hello and welcome, everyone. Welcome to Talk Leadership with Cedrick. You know, everybody needs a little TLC, and I am Cedrick LaFleur, your host, and I'm excited to be here with you tonight. You know, on Talk Leadership with Cedrick is where we focus on leadership, personal growth, with educators, business leaders, and local thought leaders. Our goal is to introduce our audience to leaders who are making an impact with innovative ideas. Now, you know, our guiding leadership principle is the law of contribution, which says growing yourself enables you to grow others. So you can't give what you don't have. So first, you must grow yourself in order to grow others. Now, we believe that outstanding leaders like yourself help us to help others. So tonight, folks, I've been telling you, we're going to have a dynamic guest on tonight. Now, you know, every week I like to do a proper introduction of my guests. So let me do a proper introduction of Miss Samantha Brookes. Samantha is the CEO and founder of Mortgages of Canada, Inc., one of the fastest growing and most reliable mortgage brokerage firms in the country. She leads a team of individuals with a depth of experience in the home mortgage industry, working with purchases, refinancing, home equity loans. Samantha's vision is to offer flexible solutions tailored to meet people's needs. Now, Samantha's brokerage opened about 5 years ago, and it's been straight uphill since she opened. In that time frame, her brokerage firm has generated just under $500 million in business. Now, folks, I'm going to restate that again. This is billions with a B. You see, this is the type of guest we bring on the show. $500 million in business in the 5 years she's been open. The process of sharing her professional knowledge and experiences, showing others how to benefit from her expertise and experience is motivating to Samantha. She's a former contributor to the Huffington Post. She appears on other various media outlets, including Business News Network, and she is a sought-after motivational speaker and has gained a following on her YouTube channel. So we're going to be telling you to go there. Watch her on Samantha TV. Samantha TV, that just sounds good. You don't want to miss that. Additionally, Samantha has been named as a woman of influence in a top 100 by Real Estate Professional magazine. Diligence is a key contributor to all of Samantha's success and a theme woven into her new book, Cash is Queen. I'm going to say that again because I like the name of the book. Cash is Queen. And you need to make sure you buy that book. We're going to have the link so that you can get that book, but you need to make sure that you get that book. Cash is Queen. She gives you 11 life-altering wealth principles for entrepreneurs and trailblazers. See, this book offers you insight on the required actions to define a person's success as an entrepreneur and shares strategies on how to blaze trails that ignite opportunity. So welcome, Miss Samantha Brookes, to the show.
Thank you so much for having me. That was outstanding. Was that my bio? Was that my bio? Just kidding.
That was all you.
Oh, thank you. Thanks for having me today.
Great read.
Appreciate it.
Well, good. Well, I'm excited to be here with you tonight. And folks, we're going to have her links up here in just a little bit. We're going to have a conversation tonight. And, you know, the month of March I call it Money March Madness, Samantha. And this is about helping people understand how to elevate their life, how to elevate their money, how to elevate themselves through financial success. So I know I've read your bio, but tell our listeners, how did your journey to leadership and start, and how did you get to where you are today?
You know, it wasn't an overnight process, like with any leader, right? You kind of start when you're young. You know that there's something different about your activity, and then you start hearing it from other people. And you know, I started working when I was 12, and I'm a very observant type person. So I observe things. I like to question things. I like to research things. And then I like to lead people, and I like to help people to get to where they need to be to as well, or where they want to be. And so at a very young age, I realized that, something is different. And everywhere I worked, they all told me the same thing. No matter what I do, I'm going to be successful. every single place that I worked when I was younger, just because something was different about me. And I maybe I knew that I was different, but I didn't quite understand it at the time. Because when you're young, you're just young. You hear it and you're like, okay, yeah, I'm different. Yeah, I'm an introvert. Yeah, okay. But I'm brilliant. And I don't like school. Right? So it's just one of those things. And so that's kind of where my leadership journey started when I was very young, just kind of learning and piecing everything together at a very young age, learning how to communicate. That was a big thing for me, especially when it comes to leadership, and knowing how to communicate with people to make them feel comfortable, and just being able to tap into their potential. And I think that also has a lot to do with the fact that I ran track and then the people around me when I was an athlete too. So,
so you're an athlete also.
Yes, former, yes. Now I don't jog. Now I don't even jog because I have bad knees, but no, yes. But yeah, so leadership is something that it has been developing over time through just experience and life.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is awesome. So tell us a little bit about the mortgage industry and the business that you're in, and why did you get in that, and give us a little bit of background around that.
So, okay, the mortgage industry is an interesting industry. Let's just put it that way, first of all. It's very interesting. We're going to get into all that a little bit later, okay? But to start with, the reason why I got started was because I was actually a victim of identity theft, and in my early 20s. And I didn't really quite understand how someone could have, defrauded me of $66,000 and how, everything worked. So I started doing some research. Again, I'm very interested in research. I need to know everything. I'm very inquisitive. And with the research that I was doing, I found out that, credit was more important than money. And the reason why these people were able to defraud me was because my credit was good. And they leveraged off of my credit in order for them to be able to defraud me of $66,000. So when I was doing that research, I realized, there's got to be more people out there that this has happened to, and there has to be people that have fallen off financially. And I found out about real estate at the time. I'm like, wow, you can buy a house if you have good credit. I'm like, this is incredible. I'm like, I want to help people that are in bad financial situations to be able to buy a house and change the financial trajectory of their life. That's my goal. That's what I want to do. So in my early 20s, I think I was about 22 at the time, I started doing mortgages. And before I even got licensed, I was working just with a couple different companies to learn the ins and outs of it. And then finally got licensed in 2004. So it's been a journey.
Wow.
Yeah.
And then it's just been blowing up ever since. Yeah.
So, I didn't go full time per se until 2014. But it's, again, I knew I had to. I knew I had to because I needed to change what was happening in my life. And in order for me to be able to stabilize my life, I knew I needed to make more money. And the only way I was going to be able to do that was if I was an entrepreneur, if I was running my own business, period. And that's what I did.
Awesome. Well, being an entrepreneur allows you to control a whole lot of things in your own life, right? Which just, that's just awesome. So what keeps you in the financial industry itself?
Oh, helping people. It's that feeling you get whenever you close a file. Forget about the money, okay? Let's just forget about the money. The fact that you're able to close a file, this person has like 400 credit score or 500 credit score, and you just help them put a Band-Aid solution on for a year, and you give them a plan that they need to follow for 12 months until you can get them back into a better financial situation. That to me is the most rewarding thing that anyone could do, because you are truly taking a person out of a bad situation like I was and changing, again, the trajectory of their life. As long as they follow the plan, then they'll be in a better situation. I had a client that actually just literally about 4 weeks ago called me, and she's like, I think I'm ready now. And, I told her a year ago, okay, you can't get a new mortgage because you don't make enough money. You have a basement apartment that you haven't rented out. You're not collecting the child support you're supposed to be collecting. I need those things deposited into your bank account. You need to get on your ex-husband. I'm like trying to tell her exactly what she needs to do. This year when she came to me, she had a renter. She's collecting her child support. She did her taxes. She did everything she needed to do. She cut back on all her spending. All her debts were paid off when we did the refinance last year with a private mortgage. This year, we're rolling everything into one and consolidating all of her debts and putting her back with the bank. Credit was like in the 400s last year. It is now over 780 in 1 year. So just to see that type of transition for one person, and she's just like, oh my God, I can't believe it worked. Of course, you followed the rules. It's going to work. Like, you talk to a professional, somebody who does this all day long, they're going to give you the right advice. And all you have to do is follow it. You came to me to better your life, and that's what I'm trying to do. So if you follow it, then you're going to have a better financial future. Now she can keep the house instead of selling it. Last year was kind of on the brink of maybe you may have to sell this. Now she doesn't have to sell the house.
Wow.
Yeah.
Now, see, folks, you see, we bring guests on to help you understand how to change your life, how to change the trajectory of what's happening in your life, to go from point A to point to Z, right? To help you not settle for good when great is available.
Yep.
And this is what we're talking about tonight. So Samantha's book, Cash is Queen. It's scrolling across the screen, folks. You can go and buy that book. And if you want help in your financial life and to change your financial future, then you need to go ahead and buy that book tonight. Don't wait till tomorrow, because you say you're going to forget tomorrow. Don't wait till, well, I'm going to wait till next week. No. Go do it right now while it's hot and fresh on your mind. And you're going to come back and you're going to feel good. And you're going to continue listening to Samantha's advice tonight. So, what keeps a smile on your face every day? Every time I've seen all your pictures and I talk to you, you're just like smiling all the time. But what makes you smile every day?
You know what? Just to be able to wake up in the morning and have gratitude. I am so grateful just to be alive at this point. Like, just knowing, first of all, it wasn't always like this when I was in a situation that wasn't the greatest. But just knowing now that I could wake up and to have that freedom and everything around me is just like, nothing bothers me anymore. It's just, I don't know. It's, I've hit that Maslow hierarchy, I think it's called. Yeah, I'm at the top of the self-actualization. And I remember driving even just last week, and I thought, oh my God, there's just joy racing through my veins. I am so happy. It's just the fact that I can wake up every morning and have this life that's just so full of love and just to breathe the air. Like, I don't even know how to explain it. It's just, I'm just thankful that I am where I am, and that I truly did change the trajectory of my life, because I didn't grow up with money at all, and no one taught me anything. I dropped out of school. Well, I didn't drop off. I kind of finished, kind of short a few credits. Anyways, remember, I don't like school. And I never liked it. I'm just like, why am I really doing this, right? So, I wanted to be a doctor. Who has time for all of that?
Yes.
Not I. But now it's like, okay, I make more money than a doctor, so what was the point, right?
Absolutely.
But
well,
yeah,
I love what you just said. Though. Let me stop you right there. I'll let you finish, but I'm going to stop you right there. You see, some people are sitting right out there right now, Samantha, listening to you, and they think that because I don't have my college degree, I can't do this, or I can't start my business. I can't do this. I can't do that. You just pointed out to them all of that. What they're telling themselves is not true.
Yeah.
Talk about how you talked yourself through that, because I'm sure you probably went through that in your mind at some point.
Oh my goodness. You know what? At the end of the day, it wasn't even so much that, I wasn't looking at the financial part of it when I was in school. It was just, it was just society kind of expects us to go to school and the expectation from my parents, and everybody knows that I'm really smart, so they want me to do these things. And then I'm just like, I was just so tired. I couldn't do it anymore. I'm like, I will make a way. No matter what happens, I'm going to find a way to be able to live a very profitable, successful life. Despite anything, doesn't matter where I came from, what I've been through. And if you knew what I've been through, you would be like, what? Trust me, it wasn't an easy road, but just through prayer, fasting,
Okay.
Yes, prayer, fasting, and just staying strong and keeping the goal always at the forefront. Then that's how I get there. And it's at the end of the day, you can never forget about being consistent. Because I would say if you do the same thing over and over, you're not, it's madness. You have to sometimes change the way you do things in order for it to become successful. I actually have something in my book about that. You can be consistent, but sometimes just a little bit more of a different ingredient changes the direction of where it's going, right?
Right.
So yeah, it wasn't about the money. It was more about just trusting myself and not having a fear. I don't have fear, by the way. I have a fear of God. That's about it. I don't care about anything else. I'll get through everything else. I'm not dead. So, everybody has gone through life, and it's never been a straight road. It's always been rocky for every person.
Yes.
People go through everything, but you're still here. And so there's got to be a reason why you're here.
Yes.
Just trust that everything is going to work out always.
Yes. And you just got to keep going, right?
Keep going.
A little bump in the road come, you just take it and keep on moving.
It's not even a bump. It's part of it. There's something you have to learn from that situation. And failing is part of that, right?
Yes, absolutely. And I love what you said, and I want people to pick up on this. You're not afraid to fail.
Oh, gosh. I love failing. It's kind of a bad thing because I waste a lot of money doing it. But you know what? You only have to be right once.
Exactly.
And then that one time can change your entire life.
Absolutely. Yes, you're absolutely right about that. So, building wealth is one of those things it's a long-term game, right? Some people want to play to get quick rich type thing, but for the most part, it's a long-term game, right? So how do you help your customers understand that it is a long-term game versus this, Samantha, please help me fix my credit right now so that tomorrow I can go buy that Bentley that I want. I can go buy that big old house that I want. I can go do this and go do all of that type of stuff.
Listen, first of all, here in Canada, processing a mortgage is not no short-term game. It is so difficult. So it takes a long time. So there's no get rich nothing over here. There's a whole process, and it's just about educating people about how things work. The world wasn't built in a day. We didn't learn everything that we've learned in a day. Mm-hmm. When you read a book, typically you don't read it in a day, right? You don't change your actions in a day.
Right.
And so everything is a process and everything takes time. But let me state this. If you do not set the goals, you will just continue to live and do the exact same thing over and over and not get anywhere. And that's the biggest issue. So know that it's a long-term process, but it'll be even a longer-term process if you do not set goals.
Yes, absolutely. Love that. Love that. Hopefully my audience is picking up on that, and I'm sure that they are, but we're going to keep going here. So, there's not a magic formula. And if you find one, then make sure you call me first, please. Yeah, all right, perfect. But there's no magic formula to building wealth. But if you had to give your clients 2 or 3 things that were important to do to get started down that wealth road, what would those 2 or 3 things be?
So the first thing always I tell everybody, set your goals. First of all, you got to set your goals, right? So even if you're not in the right mindset yet, if you set your goals, you will start to get there because you have to work towards it. Mm-hmm. And the only way for you to truly start working towards it is to do the research. You got to do the research and then you got to execute. So a lot of people think, okay, well, I set the goals and I want this, but they're not doing anything about it. They're not even doing the research. I think I had mentioned to you earlier, Cedrick, that, I wanted to change things just for my finances. So I'm not having to work as much. And I wanted a cash flow business because with mortgages, it's a commission-based business, which means I'm constantly having to work. The business that I'm purchasing is a cash flow business. I didn't know fully how to actually get a cash flow business and how much it would cost and everything else. But I did the research and then I started executing. And then I started asking a lot of questions. And I found the people and I put those people in place, my team. They helped with the business plan. I got the money. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it was like you have to follow through with what it is that you're doing. If you don't execute it, it's never going to happen.
Right.
And the thing is, you set, one of the really important things I always tell people, set a date. Set a date. And it's okay if you go over that date, but at least you have a date.
Yeah.
Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know, and then you just keep going until it's actually in place.
Yes. I absolutely love that. Telling people to set a target so they can try to hit that, right? Because otherwise they just continue to just going down a path and just keep saying, well, maybe next year, and then next year, the next year, the next year, right? Which never comes. And I always tell groups like this, everybody in the audience, I will pay you $100 each if you just pull out your phone, your watch, or whatever, right? If anyone can show me where someday shows up on your watch, you know, so I absolutely love what you just said. So do you have to have a lot of money to make money?
No, you don't. So here's what I tell anybody who is working full-time. Do like me. I was working full-time. This is just totally being transparent right now. I was managing a health department in a community service industry. I was only making like $50,000 a year. Good for some people, me, not great, but it was okay. I had a significant other at the time who had his income. So together we were like a middle-class family, right? Mm-hmm. And then I needed to leave that relationship. And so I started putting things in place. And in order for me to do that and to bring myself to the next level, I had to put things in place. And I can't even explain it to you, but it happened so fast that the comfort of having the full-time job didn't matter anymore because I needed the freedom to save myself. So the income that I made in the year when I was working was less than me working part-time, starting to do my business, working towards it going full-time. I made $150,000 working part-time doing mortgages, and I made $50,000 a year working full-time. Wow. That was my test. So I saved all the money that I was making with my part-time job, which made $150,000, and I put that money aside so that I could invest it into my business. Do you see what I'm saying? So start small. You don't have to be making a lot of money, but set goals. How much money are you going to put away to invest in your business? What do you need to learn? Who do you need to contact? Who do people need to reach out to? What books do you need to read? Like, where are those resources? And then stick to it. If it's $200 a month and 3 hours in the evening, that's time that you can really use. Cut your TV off. I don't have cable. I go on the TV. I don't even have the news. Somebody asked me today, so how do you speak on TV and you don't have cable? Don't worry about all that. We good. Because I don't need to be distracted.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So yeah, just really focus on starting small and then building up. And then when you're comfortable enough where your side business or your side hustle is making more than your full-time hustle.
Yes.
That's when you can leave it.
Absolutely. That's happy day, right?
Oh, let me tell you, I had the date written down. I was like, yes. I went on a cruise and I executed everything while I was on a cruise. When I came off that cruise, I knew exactly what date I was leaving my job. I knew the exact date. And 5 days before, I was out of there.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's what we're talking about. Now, see, what she's just talking about is going to transition us into this next topic, which is Cash is Queen.
Yes.
So you have a book that's out called, the title is Cash is Queen. Tell us a little bit about Cash is Queen.
So Cash is Queen talks about 11 life-altering wealth strategies for anybody who's an entrepreneur, and even just if you're an individual trying to get into entrepreneurship. I teach some of the strategies and some of the lessons that I learned along the way. What happened was in 2018, I almost made $1 million. Okay, so after I almost hit that, I was like, okay. And by the way, I separated from my ex-husband at the time. So all of this was happening. It was a great year. It was a great year. So I know I'm like,
you got to watch out when you leave.
like, listen, I do not want to forget anything that I just learned over the last 4 years. So I'm going to put it in a book because I think that this is so valuable for people to understand what to expect for the first 4 years, right? Not everybody's going to make as much as I did. Like I, again, went absolutely crazy when it came to making sure that everything was in place. I also, again, did a lot of research, Oprah, Obama, like Mark Cuban, Elon Musk. I needed to know like what were some of the key things that they wish they had done when they started the business. Imagine that. I researched that right in the beginning. And then I put all that in place. And in 4 years, look what happened, right? But since then, the government changed rules. So I haven't made, like, I'm not back there yet. But this year, we'll talk about that later. This year, we're going to hit that 7-figure plus in the two.
Okay, all right.
Because we're buying a business and we're adding to it. So now I'm going to increase the income, right?
Yes,
You know
absolutely. Yes, absolutely. Everybody's
That's how you do it sometimes.
Everybody's going to try to go to Canada and do business.
I told you it's tough out here. I'm not so sure if this is where you want to come to. But yeah.
That is awesome. So you say in your book, mindset and action are essential components for people who have big plans that they wish to achieve, right? Then you say, you ask them, how do you take the wish and put it into motion?
Write it down.
Write it down.
Done. Write
so
it
you
down.
Can see it every day?
Listen, remember I said goal setting, right?
Right.
Every day you need to be goal setting. Imagine what happens. It's a snowball effect.
Mm-hmm.
And you just start, it keeps going. That's how you get to your end goal. That's why you set a date. As you keep every day, it starts to snowball. And then you get to your point. And that's it.
With that, and I love that, with that, why do you think it's so hard for people to just get that simple concept of just set a goal and then write it down so you can see it every day?
That's exactly what it is, because you can see it. So you visualize it, right? Mm-hmm. And sometimes you may not finish what you need to do today and you carry it over to tomorrow. That's fine. That's fine, because we don't want to be too hard on ourselves either, right?
Right.
But if you can visualize it, it's going to keep everything organized and structured so that you're staying on track. And then as life starts to progress and you continue to do this, you just get better at it.
Sure. Yeah.
Right?
Wow. You have some great tips. You have some stuff that's easy to, actionable things that people can. Yeah.
Yeah, simple. Like, it's not rocket science. It's really not. I'm just like, yo. I just said yo, sorry. I'm like, people, it's really not difficult. It really isn't. It's just, you have to get out of your own head first. You got to get out of your own head. If you're around me long enough, when people are around me long enough and they're not doing what they're supposed to do, I'll get under your skin. And then when I'm done, you're doing a lot of stuff. And you're being who you're supposed to be, and you're reaching your potential, because I'll make you write it down.
See, this is why we connected then, because I am that type person for a lot of people. I'm like, hey guys, look, you say you want to do these things. If you really want to do it, then here's what you have to do. Yeah. And I'm about action. I love that. Yes. Love it. So another tip that you say that I really like is know the relationship you're in, that it's going to determine your future success, whether good or bad, right?
Ooh. You see, this question comes up a lot, and it's so hard to kind of answer because I can't really disclose every single thing. I would love to.
Well, let me put it this way so I'm going to take you off the hook from that. But
no, don't take me off the hook. I'm coming with it.
Okay. All right. Bring it then.
Okay. So let me tell you, the person who you end up with could either make you or destroy you.
Mm.
Yes. If you are not of equal yoke with the individual that you are with, and you guys don't have the same goals for your financial future, meaning retirement, okay?
Yes.
There's no way it's going to work. Some people will do everything to hold you back. You know, I never knew how much a relationship could truly affect your financial outlook or your outcome until I realized that I was in a really bad situation. And then I had my no, it's time. And then when I look back at some of the things that I was doing, I was actually not following some of the rules that I knew needed to take place. So for instance, I know how to save. I know about money. I know how to do certain things, but I was like emotional about certain things. So I was emotionally spending. I was doing this. I was doing that. Like just being kind of reckless when I knew I shouldn't have been. But because I was in a situation where my mind wasn't stable because of the relationship that I was in, and plus that person was also trying to financially ruin me, which I actually have proof of, which is insane. But people are like that out there. There are people out there. There are people out there like that, right? Yeah. And that, you know, when you start to realize that if the partner you're with can't get it together, one, or isn't dreaming on the same level as you, it's time to go. I'm sorry. Like maybe some people will change, but if you've put in like years upon years, forget it. Yeah. Some people just will never change. They just don't have it in them because they're not thinking on the same level as you. They're what they want, what you want are totally different things. You'll never mesh that. So be careful who you let into your life. It's the same thing they say. You fly, you either gonna fly as an eagle or hang around with sheep. Where whoever you hang around with, that's who you become, right?
Yeah,
that's who you become.
You can't be dreaming on the professional, like the professional sports level. You can't be dreaming like to be in the NBA or NFL or whatever, and they're dreaming about being the best high school player ever.
Okay, so let's touch on that a little bit, okay? You can't be dreaming to be so successful and setting the family up so the child or the children don't ever have to worry financially for the rest of their life. Mm-hmm. That is your goal. And at the same time, their thing is, you know, putting money into like, you know, certain savings. Okay, that's fine. That's good too. But what about leaving a legacy of a business, right?
Yes.
Something greater than that. Do you think that, and I'm not sure who's all watching this, but number 45, do you think his dad would have just left him with some RSPs? No. His dad left that man real estate. He left the whole family real estate, land. That is how a lot of people are gifting their kids. Right. Land, real estate. That's how they do it. Stocks, yes, that too. But if you're not thinking on that level and your only thing is to satisfy your needs for the moment,
right,
while the other person is dreaming, get rid of them.
Right.
Period. Because you'll never get there with that person.
Yeah, absolutely. They're trying to buy that new car so they can impress somebody at the red light that they're never going to see again. And you're talking about buying a whole island. There's two different dreams.
Two different dreams.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Love it. So we have a segment on the show, Samantha, that's called Would You Rather? So we're going to play a little Would You Rather.
Oh, no. Here we go.
So would you rather meet your great-grandparents or meet your great-grandchildren?
Meet my great-grandchildren.
Grandchildren, okay. Would you rather no one show up at your wedding or no one show up at your funeral?
Man, I don't care about either of those. I ain't got no friends now. I mean, shoot. Told you I'm an introvert, and I business acquaintances, I have people I talk to, but I don't care. Like if nobody showed up to my wedding, I don't even care if the groom shows up. I'd probably be burying myself. I'm so okay with it. I'm okay with it. I'm so comfortable in my own skin. Okay. Gotta love yourself first.
You are too much. All right, so. You don't want the groom to show up at the wedding. Oh my God. So would you rather pay for everything with pennies or $100 bills for the rest of your life?
I like things simple. So $100 bills.
$100 bills. All right. Now you don't get any change. So if it's $5, then you're just going to give them $95 tip.
I do that now.
Okay.
Nothing's changed.
So would you rather be best friends forever with your favorite celebrity or date your celebrity crush for only 2 years?
So can I tell you, I did that. I dated my celebrity crush for, yeah. So, these questions are really good because it kind of trigger me a bit. Either one wouldn't matter to me. Like, you remember when I talked about the hierarchy?
Yeah.
Like, when you hit that.
Yeah, self-actualization.
Self-actualization. Those things I can't answer that because I don't care.
Either one. Okay.
I don't idolize. I don't care about celebrities. Who cares?
Okay. So would you rather have free gas for 25 years or drive your dream car?
Well, I don't like pumping gas when it's cold. So you want to talk about free gas because, it gets really cold in Canada and I hate getting outside and there's snow outside and my hands are cold and I have to stay out there and pump gas for 3 minutes. It's not cool.
All right. So would you rather be a pirate or a ninja?
I'd like to fight. Ninja.
I can see you like to fight. 2 more. Okay. Would you rather have free Apple products forever or have free Wi-Fi wherever you go?
Wi-Fi.
Wi-Fi? All right, you must be an Android person then.
I'm an Apple person.
You're an Apple person? Oh, so you want Apple products forever? I'm a diehard Apple guy.
It's you know what? There's other products out there, but Wi-Fi is important.
Yeah, that's definitely true. So the last one that I ask everyone, would you, I want to see what you say to this. Would you rather pick the year you die or the way you die?
Ooh. Wow.
Stumped you.
Now that one's oh my God. You see, this is a question I don't want to answer wrong because sometimes we speak things into life, into the universe and all these crazy things start happening. Okay, so the way you die
or the year. I'm not going to ask you to pick either one, but I'm not going to ask you to pick what year, but just would you rather know the year you're going to die or the way you're going to die?
The year.
The year. Okay. All right. So then the last one that I ask everybody is, would you rather have $1 million in Amazon gift cards or $100,000 in real money?
Oh, that's so easy. I have 100,000 in real money.
Okay.
So I can take that and flip that so quick.
Yes. I want the Amazon gift cards because I'm shopping on Amazon every day, all day anyway. So
yeah, I'll take the 100,000 and flip it. Remember, I told you a lot of business.
Mm-hmm.
Make 100,000 and make it into 2 million.
There you go. That's the way to do it.
That's the way to do it. And then you can get all the Amazon gift cards.
You are too much. So, how are your customers equipped to make it through the next financial crisis? Because there's always going to be ups and downs in the market, but how are your clients equipped to make it through the next crisis?
Okay, so this is a really important question. I hope those who are listening are really listening carefully. We're going to have a massive recession. It's already happening. Okay. In Canada, the bank is supposed to already they would have already implemented new policy to slow the market down. Okay. We all know this. Whenever the markets are going crazy, because the real estate market right now is going absolutely nuts. Mm-hmm. And you go to buy a house, they're selling for $150,000, $200,000, $300,000, $400,000 over asking. And these houses are not under listed. They're listed where they're supposed to be. But the bidding wars, where you have 30 to 70, 80 people coming in bidding on one property because there's a shortage, is a major issue, okay? So the Bank of Canada already knows that they need to increase sales rates. However, they're holding back because they know if they increase rates, the recession is going to get very dark very quickly. Yeah. Okay? Because the stimulus money that's been coming in has been holding people together, but a lot of that stimulus money is now done. Hence why, like in the last, I would say 6 weeks, we have seen a huge uptick in people losing their homes, looking to refinance, consolidate their debts, people who weren't working, like they're just trying to get back on track financially. My thing to anybody who is looking to purchase right now, or anybody who owns a home, is to hold on. Hold on to that property. If you can. That's if you can. If you can't, then you may need to sell. And you have to hold on. Once the recession is officially over, then we know how house prices will adjust. We know they have to. It's unprecedented what's happening right now in Canada and the US. You have to stay prepared. Stay ready. Try not to run up too much more debt. Try to focus on, don't use your house as a credit card. Try to focus on putting away that emergency fund. Try to focus on really, maybe even if you need to take money out, renovate your house to get the value up a little bit more, so that when the time comes, if something should happen, you need to list, you're still going to hopefully make a profit as long as you're not over leveraged. All I'm saying to everybody out there is be ready, because we should have had, the bubble should have burst years ago. And because it's just like continuing to accumulate, when it does, it's going to be huge. And I'm not going to say it's going to happen like in 6 months or a year. It could happen in 2 years. But when it does, be ready. Get your money set aside. And I tell everybody, this is not a short-term game. It's a long-term game. Hold that property. There's people that are speculating and flippers. That's fine. Do whatever you do to make your money. But for those who are average homeowners, hang in there. Hold on. Okay? Yeah. You want to build wealth over time. Just like if you put money in a stock, let it sit.
Yes.
Same thing. You put money in real estate, let it sit. That's where the money is.
Yeah.
Right? And
when a recession hits, just because the market crashes doesn't mean you go and sell, because you're going to be selling low. Just hang on. Just hang on. Since 1926, when the S&P 500 started, it's always recovered higher. So just hang on.
Just hang on. Just hang in there. And again, like you said, always recovers. So once it happens, it'll take 1 year to 2 years for it to recover. Okay, guys? It's not going to be a lifetime. It'll take about 2 years. And when it does, it's going to be higher. So just hang on. You got to hang on.
Yes, that's really the game changer right there. That's how people win, because when that recession happens and the market crashes, this is the time to go buy. That's the Kmart Blue Light Special. It's time to go buy, so that when it recovers, you're on the good side of it.
Yeah.
It changes your life.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it. So what's been the biggest financial challenge that you've helped clients face, especially in this pandemic environment?
You know what's happening, like, it depends on the area too, right? So some of the problems that we're finding is that some areas, there's just not, the equity is not there to refinance. And if people have a lot of debt, what I tell them, and it's maybe good or bad, but I'm like, if you want to hold on to your house, file a consumer proposal or do a bankruptcy. You'll be able to keep your house because there's no equity, right? So you do that, keep your house, you have your bankruptcy, you could pay it off because the balance is going to be less, and then you can start rebuilding your credit from there. So that's one of the strategies I tell my clients if they're like so over leveraged. For instance, if they only have like, $50,000 worth of equity in their property, but they're carrying $200,000 worth of debt, which we see, right? Let's try to maybe do a bankruptcy, keep your house, and then you can pay off the bankruptcy through the refinance. And that's something that we do. So, just getting people back on track, that's financially is like, it's a big thing for me. It's a big thing. Just, you have to have strategies. And when you do this long enough, it's one of those things. We also, if you do have a lot of equity, and you are tight with your cash flow, that's why Cash is Queen. Cash is Queen is actually about the cash flow. Because cash flow is a lifeline of your business and also your life. If you don't have cash flow, how are you surviving? Right?
Yes.
Right? So
Absolutely.
cash is king, but cash flow is queen. Get it?
Yeah.
Right? All right. So you don't have a lot of cash flow and you need to refinance. We will actually prepay your second mortgage if we need to add one on there so that you don't have to make any mortgage payments for that entire year. So that client that I was talking about earlier, that's what we did with her. So we actually prepaid a mortgage. She should not pay it. So all the other debts that we couldn't pay out during that time because there was not enough equity in our property, she was able to pay those off during that time. So that's how our credit got. We paid off what we could. She paid off the rest in 12 months. And again, you just set plan in place, follow the rules, everything will turn out in a year.
Wow. See, folks, Samantha's just dropping so much knowledge on you right now. You need to go get the book, Cash is Queen. Scrolling across the screen. I just put it in the chat. I'm going to put it on LinkedIn here as well for you. So you can just copy and paste and go right there and get that book right now. Like she said, wait, you said something is king. I forgot what you said about king.
Cash is king, but cash flow is queen.
Yes. Cash is king, but cash flow. That's where the money resides, folks. That's where the money resides.
Oh.
Cash flow is queen.
That's where your emergency fund comes from too, guys. Remember? The extra money you have every month. Cash flow.
Absolutely. And you need an emergency fund. So tell people, why do they need an emergency fund?
The recession. Not just a recession. There could be, life happens at any time. If you're not ready, like if your car breaks down and you don't have an emergency fund, what are you gonna do? Start taking transit when you need to get to work, and it's like it takes you like an hour to get to work by car, and it's gonna take you like 3 hours by transit. Like, I mean, you have to be ready for these emergencies to happen. Emergency fund also to help you stabilize your life when things do happen. For instance, I'll be very honest with you. 2019, my business took a hit. So remember 2018 was my biggest year. 2019, because the government made a bunch of rule changes because the real estate in Canada was going off so much, they changed a whole bunch of policies. So my business got affected. I didn't make as much. It took a little bit of, I took a little bit of hit, not too bad in 2019. But because I had so much overhead, I had to make some major cutbacks. So I had to get rid of some of my staff. I had to start going lean, but I didn't go lean enough. And then I started realizing, hold on, we're not profiting, right? But I still carried through. Still managed, all right? I got a loan, business loan, put that aside for my emergency, started putting a little more money into marketing, start testing out the few different things because you can't keep doing the same thing over if it's not working.
Right.
All right. So I was in the red. 2020 comes. Sorry, I had a reserve. My reserve was gone because the rule changes. And then COVID hit. 2019 rule change, 2020 COVID hit. When I look back at my numbers in January, February, March of last year, just to see the amount of applications we have and to know like how many we closed, the numbers were so through the roof. We were ready for a record year. We would have hit over 1 million last year if we didn't have COVID. 100%. Easy. But because of COVID, in March, when it puts in lockdown, all that business was gone.
Wow.
So we had like 20, I think it was like 28 active applications right in that time. If our average deal is like a couple $1,000, whatever, you can imagine, right? So out of those 28, we may close 25. Now, all those things are gone and we're down to like 7.
Wow.
Because everybody left. They're like, oh my God, everybody got scared. They don't know what's going to happen. Plus the government said, oh, defer your mortgage. Now nobody needs a mortgage anymore.
Right.
And you're in lockdown, so you can't buy a house. So I'm just like, okay. So 2020 hit my business. And then I remembered lean again. So I had to lean out again, even further. So then I went down to 1 employee, myself, and cut everything. As of this year, we're talking like this month, we're finally back in the green. Finally. Back in like profit margin. And that's how long it took. But you know what? Throughout this whole thing, never bothered me. Because I know what I'm doing.
See.
I know what I'm doing. And during that time, remember, I just told you, I realized, okay, there's a huge shift. I'm like, okay, 2 years kind of in the red. Doesn't really make sense. Even though I'm making like all this money, there's still not really a lot of profit because I have to put money into marketing. Marketing takes up a lot of your budget. You know that, right?
Right.
Right. Plus your overhead and stuff. So when I started to realize in the fall, I'm like, okay, yeah, we got really busy. And I'm like, okay, business is about to pick up again. And I feel it. But I'm like, I can never let myself get to this point again financially where I'm just sitting here with all my eggs in one basket. So I need a cash flow business. And that's when I was like, okay, I need to figure out what I got to do here because I have a child. She's going to be going to university soon. I don't have a lot of support. I'm just like, okay, let's do this. Started doing the research. I went out and started seeking opportunities, found it, did the business plan, executed that, contacted who I needed to contact, proved. Still waiting for money, but it will be here soon, probably in the next 2 weeks.
Awesome. Great story. And folks, see, we want to bring people on that want to not only tell you things what to do, but also be transparent with you and help you understand how they go through these things and how they process it and get through it. And I just want you to know you can get through it also. That's the thing I want you to leave with, right? So go get that book, Cash is Queen, right? So if you want that cash flow and you want to know where that money is, where the money resides, then you go ahead and get that book, Cash is Queen. So many people die without life insurance.
Oh man, so sad.
Yeah.
You know what? It bothers me so much when I see somebody pass away and then they set up a GoFundMe. I'm like, where's your life insurance?
Drives me crazy every time I see it.
I'm like, I can't, honestly, I can't donate. I'm just like, no, should know better. Sorry.
Yeah, I don't either. Yeah, there's no reason why you should die. Because here's the thing. I always tell people, I'm going to give you a secret. I'm going to tell everybody this tonight. You're going to die. It's not a matter of if. It's just when. So you just need to be prepared, folks. You don't need a lot, just enough to bury you. But if you have dependents, you want to have something in your life insurance so that your family can live when you're gone. Don't be selfish.
And you know what? Insurance is not that expensive, especially when you start early. I started my insurance in my early 20s. I think I paid like $40. It's not much. I think it's like 200,000, something like that. I don't even know.
Yeah.
You know, and that was just then. But now I have much more because I have way more assets. And I have to cover a lot. So my daughter, and she, you know, she's going to need all of this. It just makes sense. I do not understand how anybody does not have life insurance. How you just don't have life insurance. It just means you don't eat out twice a month.
Exactly. Yeah. It's just not that hard. So what can parents do? This is where I want to turn now, is for parents with children. What can parents do to teach their children about financial accountability? So,
I mean, things are a little bit different with me, but you got to start showing your kids what it is that you know. And even if you don't know, start taking them with you to like some of these events, these financial events and stuff. You know, I'll never forget. I remember my daughter, she was way too young at the time, but I'll take her to the next one when I go. I went to Tony Robbins' event and I saw a lot of people who had their children with them. And I'm thinking, oh, this is what I'm missing. So when we go to these events and we're learning about financial literacy, bring your kids, because you may not know everything,
right?
But they can learn from other people. Even if they're bored, something's going to stick at some point. And some kids may take a real liking to it. Like my daughter, she loves it. Because, she gets a lot of money every month too as well. But I won't talk about that. The kid's spoiled. But you know what? She spends a lot. But she
like somebody's spoiling her, right?
Right. But the thing is, like, she knows, okay, you know what? She wants a pair of Balenciagas or some, what are they called? What are those shoes? I don't know. They're like $1,200, $1,400. And she's like, oh, I'm going to save for it. And yesterday she said to me, oh, there's food in the house. Well, there's food. I'm like, there's always been food. But now because she wants something specific, she knows she has to save for it. I would prefer that she learn to save that way set a goal. And even if it's a pair of shoes that are $1,400, girl, save your money. Yes, that's how it works. You don't just go out and spend it because you have it.
Right.
You want to save so that you're able to, carry forward what it is you're trying to do later on in life too as well. So it's, I told her, start putting it into a savings account, right? And even if it's a little bit of interest, it's still a little bit. But you say you want to buy a house when you're 18, let's work towards that.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And you're only 15 now. So let's work towards you. Bill, she has a business too as well. So she makes money by herself, and then she gets money from me. And she saves some of it, but sometimes she spends it. She likes Uber Eats. No. That's why she said there's food at home.
Uber Eats, okay.
Oh.
Hey, that's the new age. It's convenience, right?
Convenience, yes.
So, what's been the best? You've had a lot of stuff. I'm sure in the last 12 months that have happened to you that have been good. But what would you say is the best thing that's happened to you in the last 12 months?
The best thing that ever happened to me was a realization that my business wasn't doing good anymore. That was the first thing, because of first the rule changes and then COVID. And that was my eye-opening moment. Also, I also learned, and this is really sad. I mean, sometimes when I think about it, I'm like, oh my God, I want to actually cry. A lot of people don't know this, but at one point last year in March, I actually going through something, and I didn't have anywhere to go when they locked us down. And I had to sleep at my office on the floor.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And that threw me into a depression I've never felt before in my life. And when I called my therapist and I was going through, the talking and stuff, at first I couldn't hear her. So I kept calling like, okay, the next week I need another session, right? To get myself out of it. And then finally, when I woke up again and then I'm looking at my business, I'm like, oh, this is still all part of the past, right?
Yeah.
I'm like, I have to change this immediately. Even though I'm doing well, I'm still able to live, even though we're not profiting, but I'm still making like really good money. I need to add something else. That was my wake up moment. I'm telling you right now, when I tell you, okay, I want my brokerage to make 1.2, great. That's nothing. When I bring on this new business, it's going to make like 1.4 on its own without having to sell anything. So now I have that cash flow business plus my commission business, and I put the two together and I'm at 2.4, 2.6.
Yeah.
It's a total game changer.
Yes.
And I wouldn't have seen that before if I didn't hit rock bottom. I hit rock bottom. I hit rock bottom last year with the business and personal. So that was my biggest failure, but my biggest lesson. And I thought I had learned all my lessons already. But let me tell you, I hadn't learned it until I realized there's no stability in life, period. We just have to go through it, get through it, and try to get out of whatever type of trench we're in. You got to keep climbing. You got to keep climbing and never give up faith. Always believe in yourself that you will always be better than where you were yesterday. That's it.
Wow. I love that. I love the transparency, and I know that that's what our audience like as well. So it's amazing, but we've been going almost 59 minutes here. It's time goes by fast when you're having fun. But I do have a question for you, and I know you wrote the book Cash is Queen, but outside of that book, if there was a book written about you, what would the title of the book be, and what would they say in the back in the summary about you?
Poor little rich girl.
I like that. Poor little rich girl.
Poor little rich girl.
All right. And what would the summary say about you?
From rags to riches.
Okay.
Cedrick, you're asking me all these questions. I don't know.
I like that though, but poor little rich girl from rags to riches.
Yeah. That's my whole book.
That's the whole book. Okay. The third page is going to say, go read Cash is Queen.
Yeah, I'm go read Cash is Queen. I'm not even so worried about Cash is Queen. You guys, you can go grab the book, message me, whatever. I'll do what I can to help you out. grab the book. There's some great stuff in there. I'm not selling hard copies anymore because I really just don't have time to deal with all the publication of it and ordering it. So you can download the book straight. As soon as you download it, you get it. So you can start reading it right away. But yeah, the book is, it's amazing. There's some really good lessons in there. And sometimes I read, I'm like, oh man, I can't believe I said that. Did I really say that at the time? Wow, Sam, girl. So yeah, it's like, oh wow, like I really said that, eh? Good, it's good. It's good.
Wow. Well, I'm going to give you a few more tips and then we're going to get out of here. A couple of tips from the book is make decisions based on information, not emotions.
100%.
I love that. Keep an eye on the cash. And you cannot do it alone. Now, on the show, my audience know I preach the law of significance, which says one is too small a number to achieve greatness. And that ties right into your tip of you can't do it alone. I love that.
You can't do it alone. You need to learn how to delegate or have a team. Have a team. It's amazing.
Yes. You said your last one is you find a good tribe, your circle of friends or your support system.
100%. So again, I don't have a lot of friends, but the people that are around me are, for the most part, very successful. And I think that's what keeps me motivated too, because I see, wow, damn, they have these nice, beautiful $10 million houses on lakes and stuff, and I'm like, okay, what happened to me? Because I have all the qualities that to possess those things, but I wasn't able to execute them because I was in a really bad relationship.
Well, you are in a better situation now, so that is awesome. And it's amazing. This comes full circle because when I just read what you just wrote, your circle of friends and your support system, and my audience doesn't know this yet, but I am in the middle of working on a project that's going to roll out to them when our Grind 365 series rolls out at the end of June, and it's called Your Circle, and it's about your support system, right? So it's amazing. That's how we're going to end the show today. And I just want to thank you very much for coming on the show. Hopefully you've enjoyed it. I know I've enjoyed it. I know that you put out a lot of golden nuggets for the audience to get. And again, thank you for coming on the show. So folks, remember, as I always tell you, if you're not at the table, you're on the menu, and don't be on the menu. Thank you guys and good night. We'll see you tomorrow night for a show around sexual assault in the military. So we'll have the authors of this book on the show tomorrow night. So make sure you tune in. It's going to be a really good show, and we'll see you guys tomorrow night. Thank you and good night.